If you could eat your lamp, would you?
Will the Royals ever get it together?
Number one law of power, never outshine the master.
Because of course Johnny Depp would have a show opening in October. Stay tuned to find out more.
From Southern California's largest paint and sip studio, Spotlight with Purple Easel.
Welcome to Purple Easel Spotlight, where we put the spotlight on artists and creatives. My name's LaToya.
And I'm Megan.
And we're both art instructors here at the world's largest paint and sip studio. Yes, the world's largest. And we have a very lovely, lovely episode. We're going to be talking about some art news. We're going to be talking about some Xenomorphs a little bit.
Can't wait.
But before we get into that, Megan, what's going on with your life?
Oh, you know, just working here at Purple Easel. I did see Beetlejuice over the weekend, so that was cool. We had a lot of fun.
Great?
Generally, I enjoyed the movie.
Okay.
There are some things, some character development things that I'm like, this isn't quite the same as the original.
Okay.
Like, we had some pretty strong characters that didn't really translate that same strength in the newer one. But the vibes, the randomness, the weird, it had the same feel.
Okay.
And I think Michael Keaton was exactly the same. He was perfect. So,
Great.
I mean, it was an enjoyable experience.
Okay. Cool. Good to know.
And then, of course, working here. So for those of you who don't know, we have this wall, like right up at our entrance in our lobby, and we have a bunch of paintings on it, and they cycle through pretty frequently because customers will be like, oh, how much is that one? And we'll take it down and then put something else up. So it's always kind of a fun little game for instructors to come in and see like, oh, my painting made the wall. Like it just gives you that little dopamine bit. And I noticed on Saturday, I was like, oh, dang. My paintings made the wall.
Is it all?
It is not all of them.
Oh, okay.
So the first one is the one with the sun, and that is my original painting, but this is Eden's version of it.
Okay.
And then the other two are, well, I think one of them is yours, right? Twilight Night. Is that you? Maybe. I don't know. Whoever's paintings they
Probably
are.
Caleb.
But they're ones that I made on stage of other people's paintings. So I just thought it was funny that they all ended up in this little cluster. And I was just like,
yay! By the way, that rainbowy one, I'd love to teach that. It's so pretty.
Eden said it turned out great for all the guests. So I was stoked to hear that. But it's just such a trip. Like, I'm a nobody. I'm nothing. And so, like seeing your work and seeing your work duplicated by others. Like I have pictures of other people teaching my paintings because it's so cool. It gives me the warm fuzzies. And so like, I just love what Purple Easel has been able to do for me as an artist. And if we can give even just the littlest modicum of that to our guests, then for sure, I'm super happy with what we're doing with our lives.
No, same. That's why I've been here as long as I have, because that actually goes into what I wanted to talk about.
Perfect.
Is customers.
Yay, customers.
Exactly. So how you were talking about, like you making your work and then seeing it and then seeing like how customers did it. It's like really fun and it's really cool. Customers really do matter because I take my belly dance classes, and so my belly dance instructor teaches as if you're going to perform someday, even if you're not going to perform. But one thing she was saying, she's like, okay, you're going to sashay, but one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to ignore the customers. You want to see, you want to be present with the customers. You want to look them in the eye. Don't just walk by the table or walk by a thing and do your dance routine and not acknowledge them. She's like, they're here to see you perform.
Right.
And I feel like it's very relatable to what we do here at Purple Easel, because they want to see you paint.
We are monkeys. We are performing. Yes, absolutely.
And I just thought that was like so true. I was like, dang, that's so true to my job as well. And it's on the performance-y kind of side, because we're on stage and got to crack jokes sometimes.
As much as possible,
Yeah, especially like if it's a full class. So I don't know. As I was doing my belly dance, I was like, dang, this is so much similar to what I do at work.
That's awesome. That was like a nice little warm, fuzzy things we did at Purple Easel.
Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. Okay. What we got for some news?
So you guys aren't going to believe this. So you know how we like to have like some random artsy trinket at home, whatever, right?
Truth.
And what people can typically do is that they can put like resin on an object and then call it art or whatever.
Yeah.
So this girl, frog in a hat, went viral on TikTok this week for a Temu piece. I'm sorry. I couldn't even finish it. For this Temu purchase. Okay. And and the last I checked, it had 12 million views.
Oh.
So this girl buys a croissant lamp from Temu. Okay.
First of all, why? Why not really love croissants? Or go for like a really kitschy, like Paris themed. Like,
Maybe, yeah. I love croissants. It's my favorite bread in the whole entire world. So I can see why I wouldn't get one. So yeah, she buys a croissant lamp from Temu, and
because of course such a thing exists.
Of course
it does.
But guess what?
Go on.
Ants. She leaves the house. Ants are swarming this croissant lamp, and she's like, "Why would ants be on this plastic object unless?"
No.
So she sets her phone down and records. She cracks it open. Okay? Look at the inside of this.
It's a croissant. It's a real croissant.
Long story short, there's crumbs. The flaky crumbs are like on the ground, right? So she's like, you know what? I'm gonna bite this. And at the end, she's like, this is a damn croissant. They just
it's
put
probably
resin.
so stale.
Yeah, so the guess is that they just put resin on top of a regular croissant, stuck the lamp in there somehow. I don't know, like whipped it up, do, and sold it on Temu.
And ants.
Wow.
Wow.
I cannot confirm that this is like an actual real life thing, but it got 12 million views.
Yeah.
And the internet was talking about it, and I wanted to go back on it because it's not too far-fetched to believe that Temu would do something like that.
Wow.
But look at the inside. Like, it looks like a croissant on the inside, and there was the lamp that was on the other side.
I mean, okay, so did it like the croissant, the lamp is like, it's shining, it's glowing?
Yeah, from the inside. It's like a round disc.
So that nice buttery, flaky crust that's nice and transparent.
Yes.
They're like, how do we duplicate that? Don't bother, just put resin over it. It's fine.
So anyways, that's my portion of the art news.
Fantastic. Wow, I don't know how to follow that. But whoever is working for the Royals in terms of commissioning artists might not have a job much longer. They've done it again.
Again.
So this new sculpture of the Queen and her corgis and her hubby has been erected, and reviews are not great. Basically, a lot of people are saying that it looks nothing like the Queen.
No, these are two random people. The corgis look good.
The corgis look great.
Yeah.
But the people are embarrassed. They're like, we need to take this down. This is not in honor of our Queen Elizabeth. Like, this is just some random person. Like, the face doesn't look like her at all.
No. Is this the original artist or the sculptor?
So I'm not entirely sure. The caption under this picture said the artist's name and stuff, but I wasn't 100% if that was him. Just the way it was worded, it was kind of
no.
The artist is from Belfast and does like chess pieces, sculpts chess pieces.
Okay.
And the way they said it makes me wonder if he also sculpts chess pieces, you know, like the kind you have that you move around your garden kind of situation, like an outdoor set.
Dang, he really nailed the corgis.
The corgis are great. And even Philip is like, okay. It's Philip, right? I don't even know. But the queen is nothing like the queen. People are saying they wish they had done it older, the way most people would recognize her, like, and all the things that she went through and stood for. And this just was not a great representation.
Okay, so I'm not a sculptor, but if I were to score this, I would give it a 2 out of 10 stars.
It's not great. It's not great. I mean, if it was just random people, it would be fine. Nobody would care.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's meant to be
so iconic. The queen is iconic.
So iconic. She was on money for forever. Like,
we all know what she looked like.
God save the queen. Come on. Like,
that I would have not have known.
And I'm not sure how this really happens, because my understanding of how these kind of sculptures work is you normally create it with clay or something. You mold it first and then do a casting, like to put the bronze in or whatever.
Okay, because I have no idea how the bronze ones work, or like metal. I can, the ones where you chisel.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But when it comes to these ones, I don't quite know how.
So yeah, you normally use something softer and then burn it out, essentially. Like if you do jewelry making, you kind of learn the process through wax casting. So you make it out of wax first, then pour plaster, then melt the wax out, and then you have a relief, an empty space. And then you put your silver or whatever it is. In the case with bronze statues, it would be, some bronze or whatever metal you're using. But like, you're sculpting.
Yeah.
So you have control over what the face would look like before it gets to this point. No changes were made. Oof. That's all I'm saying.
Oof. Big oof.
Any opportunity to correct that at any point, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah, that was not so good. Oops. Well, next on our art news is some drama for your mama.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so.
Give us the tea.
Never outshine the master. But in this case, Chester Bennington cannot be outshined.
Of course not.
Of course. Linkin Park has a new lead singer, and her name is Emily Armstrong. And the internet. I have my own opinions, and then I will tell you the internet opinions. Now, I have like 4 Linkin Park albums, so I'm a decent fan. Like, I'm all right. So I heard her. She can scream. I think her scream's good. It's decent. I think her quieter notes, I don't really feel them a whole lot. But I think like what makes Chester's voice so memorizing is you can feel the pain in the lyrics and like the loss and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so those are his experiences. And since she didn't have, well, I'm not gonna say she didn't have those,
right?
But they're not personal to her.
Yes.
It doesn't translate well in her voice and me personally. And there's a few things that I do agree with, like with when it comes to the internet. The internet.
Oh, yeah.
Huge. Internet is mostly bad. People suggest that since they have like a new drummist and a new lead guitarist, that they just changed the band name, kind of like Dave Grohl did with Foo Fighters.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize there wasn't all that newness happening.
Yeah. So the drummer was like, I can't do this anymore. Like shortly after Chester died, he's like, I can't do this. Lead singer left recently, not because, like, he didn't say, he was just like, I'm gonna be here, just not for this next tour. I wish you guys luck, and I'm not feeling it. He didn't say anything like negative. He was just like, I'm not gonna be there, essentially. So, and then, a lot of people don't like her because she's a Scientologist. That comes with, it's like a loaded gun there. And she's also like a Danny Masterson sympathizer, which if you don't remember who Danny Masterson is, just Google it. He has done some bad things. Yeah. But she did come out and say, like, I don't condone his actions. When it all went down, I was for him, but once I found out what he truly did, wasn't for it. Chester Bennington's son, Jamie, is like, no, boo, ruining my dad's legacy. But then he also said, I will be there at the tour, though. And tickets did sell out, like, within an hour in Los Angeles, and then, like, minutes within New York or something like that. I forgot. So people do like it, but it's just, how do you feel about that?
Okay, first of all, the Scientology thing, if we're not going to hold it against Tom Cruise and we're going to keep putting him in movies,
Yeah.
then we can't really hold it
Yeah, that was
against
kind of
her.
like the least of my problems.
Right, like that part, null and void, honestly. Not that I'm a supporter of Scientology.
You're not a supporter of Scientology.
Just saying, like, come on. I think if you were to replace Chester, going the female route was the brilliant move. Because you're not trying to be him. You can't. You can't.
Yeah.
And so putting another male singer in that spot would be a little bit
You
like...
would have to live up to that.
Yeah, that's
At
kind of...
least she can be who she is.
Right, and she can kind of revitalize it and be neutral. And Linkin Park's music means a lot to a lot of people. And so I get what you're saying is she can't deliver it the same way he could, obviously. But I don't know that that necessarily counts her out.
That's
I
how I
haven't
felt
heard
about
her
it.
sing though, so I
Okay.
can't really, I can't judge based on that. But I think the move to go with a female singer was the right one if they're reviving the band. But like you said, if there's not even that much carryover, then just
Make a new
rebrand it. You know, like make a new brand. Yeah, it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's so many people who have gone off to do side projects and we're like, cool.
Yeah.
You know, think of Blink, you know, one did Angels and Airways, one chased down aliens.
Yeah.
And, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, but they're still making music again. and being
Yeah.
cool, and like, they still have more to say. And maybe Linkin Park does too. I mean, we're together, you know, those guys, and having all these tours and making albums, and there's things that never make it to the album. So they might have more.
Yeah.
Like, and it might have Chester's stamp on it still that we just don't realize. But it kind of reminds me of like Sublime with Rome, or Queen with Adam Lambert. You know, like there's been instances of this happening before.
Yeah.
How much of this is just kind of hidden misogyny because it's a girl?
Yeah. Yeah. I thought about that, and kind of, yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, like, people are going to be mad no matter what. I'm disappointed to hear his son isn't supportive of it, because I feel like it would have been nice.
Yeah. I know he's like, she's erasing my dad's legacy. But I'm not his son. I didn't feel that she was taking over anything.
I don't think you can erase his legacy.
No,
you can't.
You can't. Exactly. I'm like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
So my brain doesn't even go there, you know?
Exactly.
Like, Chester Bennington can only be and sound like Chester Bennington.
Right.
So in the beginning, I was like, I welcome the new, like, I thought, you know, I was like, hey, Ian, like, listen to this. And again, like, I liked her screaming was really like from the chest.
Yeah.
There was a few notes when it was funny, me and Ian were in the apartments and we're like, the song goes. So we're all like, I was like, yeah, she didn't hit the, we're sitting, like, talking about, like, it didn't do it for me today. But, yeah.
Hey, I'll reserve judgment until we get a little farther in, I guess.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it. I was like, we'll see.
Yeah. Man, drama. In more uplifting news. Uplifting?
Oh, yes. I understood in my brain.
There's a new gallery show opening the day after my birthday.
Ooh.
On October 4th in New York, in Manhattan. And this show will not only showcase Johnny Depp's never-before-seen artwork, but will also feature some personal artifacts from his studio. So that sounds awfully familiar. We just talked about Tim Burton and his, like, 700-piece gallery experience with a bunch of personal artifacts. So I kind of got to wonder, and I was like, I didn't even know Johnny did art. But it kind of checks out. Yeah. He's always been a little offbeat. He has that artist, like
plays. I think he wanted to be a musician.
I think so. I think he plays something too, right? So I couldn't find any images of the upcoming show.
Okay.
But he did have one back in 22.
Oh.
Who knew? He sold $3.6 million at his debut show.
Okay.
And here are some examples of his work. And it's actually pretty okay.
Yeah. This is, I hate to say better, but remember we covered Jim Carrey?
Yes.
Granted, it was furniture.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is nice.
This is good,
Very
right?
nice.
This is he did a whole series of heroes and people he admires and friends, and it's got that pop art style, but it's different enough from like Warhol and stuff that I don't know. It's unique. I like it.
I like it too. It's kind of, it's a little 80s.
It is a little 80s, which I mean, Johnny Depp. It makes sense. And then here's a self-portrait, which he is selling prints for $2,500 or something. That's a big print, though.
Yeah, no,
and it's signed and everything. So I mean, like, it's pretty legit.
Yeah, okay.
It's pretty good. This gives me Basquiat vibes.
Yes.
But he did a whole series of like tarot inspired.
Okay.
I just thought it was really neat. It's not what I would have expected.
I like it.
Same.
I'm like, is there more? Is this it?
This is all I have right now.
Yeah, no, I was enjoying
But
it.
we'll have to see once it opens if we can get images from the new show, because super exciting. Or we just go to New York.
Or that.
Just say it.
Our producer will pay for us.
It's fine.
Well, I guess we'll move on to the episode of
Yeah.
Aliens. So, I've been going down a whole intense rabbit hole of Ridley Scott's Alien franchise lore. I found some cool stuff that I wanted to share, some cool artsy stuff, and that's why we're doing a Xenomorph episode.
Cool. Let's do it.
Alrighty. Strap in, everyone. All right. Let's say you're touring in Scotland, la 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 la, having a great time, la 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 la.
Castle. Okay.
And you're walking around a 12th century Scottish abbey. Pretty cool. All right. Nothing to
I
see
can
here.
envision it.
Yeah. All right. Just walking around, having a good time. Why is there a damn xenomorph statue? Why is there a damn xenomorph statue in this abbey?
That's an impressive gargoyle.
Yeah.
What is happening?
So, back in 1991, I told you I went down this rabbit hole.
Can't wait. This is going to be a great trip. Okay.
The abbey had to do a facelift based because there was like water damage over time. So they had to replace 12 out of 13 gargoyle statues.
Oh.
So Edinburgh-based stone masonry company, we're going to help with this facelift. And so in the medieval tradition, there's no two gargoyles that are alike that can look the same. So they started mocking up designs. So you can kind of see here some of the designs they're thinking.
Grotesques, yeah, very classic.
Yep. And so one artist was like, I'm going to do a xenomorph. I'm going to do a xenomorph one.
Because why wouldn't you?
And he didn't think that it would go through. And then he came back with some papers, approved.
And he's like, what?
Yes, he's like, huh? So, there we go.
You have to, like, the people who approved this had no idea, right? They were just like, that's a cool looking gargoyle.
I don't know
That's
if they
different.
knew. The story is that he just got approved and he's like, okay. So, but the cool thing about this is that it has gotten like more tourism in that area because of the xenomorph. So people come to see the xenomorph.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love that so much.
I know, right? I was like, what the heck is that? That's so cool.
The juxtaposition. And it's just going to be so confusing for like archaeologists in the future. They're going to be like, wait a minute.
I literally thought of that too. I was like, dude, the future humans are going to be like, what the hell is this? Yeah, I totally thought about this. They're like, did they have monsters back then?
The alien lore is going to go off, man. They're going to come up with all kinds of stuff. I mean, I guess they can probably carbon date the stone and know it was added later or whatever, but like...
But still, it's going to be confusing. So I wanted to talk about this actor who was the like original Xenomorph. Okay, in 2024, I just realized, I thought it was all puppets. I thought it was all puppets. I did not know that it was actual people in the suits.
Okay.
But in 1971, it's going to be so terrible at butchering his name. Bolaji. He's a Nigerian visual artist and actor. He was 6 feet tall and 10 foot inches.
Wow.
And this is him in the Xenomorph costume.
Wow. What?
I know, right?
That's cool.
Look at how
it's kind of like Chewie.
Yeah.
Chewie was an actual dude.
And the really cool thing that I like about so I went to go see this weekend, Romulus, liked it, 10 out of 10. And, in the year 2024, I was like, okay, there's going to be a lot of CGI, right? No, it's more guys in suits. So
right on.
Right, exactly. I thought that was really cool. So in Alien Romulus, they decided to cast another tall guy. So this is a spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen the movie, maybe not watch this part, skip ahead 2 minutes or something. But this Romanian basketball player called Robert Bobrovsky, I hope I said his last name right.
Bobrovsky.
Yeah.
There's a bro in there. You can't forget the bro.
Bobrovsky.
Sure.
Okay. Related a new character called the Offspring in the horror action sequence. So he's 7 foot tall, 7 inches.
Oof.
And check this out.
Oof.
Now, here's the craziest thing is I saw a video of, okay, I don't know. I would be super scared, first of all, because the producer's sitting there talking to him, and he's just
No big deal.
But it's so scary, just seeing him in the suit and just walking and talking.
Yeah.
I would be like,
you're not normal, dude. Just stop acting like it.
Exactly. But I'd like to just show you how tall he is.
Wow.
Look at that.
And gangly limbs, too. It's perfect for, wow.
And, I just really like this movie magic because they also, in comparison of how tall it is, comparison to, a regular sized person. Yeah. But, movie magic. I thought stuff would be more CGI, and then you find out it's just more like people in costume. And I think that's the best way sometimes to bring out. It makes things more scary if it looks more human, if things can be more human,
There's more longevity to it, too, because if you go back and watch certain movies, you're just like, because the graphics are distracting. But if you look a lot of the original Star Wars, the Lord of the Rings, because they made all those models.
Yeah.
And it's close up of actual buildings, just smaller versions and ships and everything else. And so it's still looks good on camera. I like that about Beetlejuice too. They did some of the stop motion bits and stuff the original instead of super CGI and everything.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that feels nice.
Good, yeah.
You know what I'd really like to see come back though?
What?
2D animated full-length feature films.
So I wanted to become an animator, but then they stopped doing animation.
Right, it's
They
all
started doing
computer.
and I don't say I don't like it, but I didn't want to do that. So I 1000% agree.
I had a friend I have several friends who tried to go into animation, but again, same kind of situation. But you can really only get jobs for Nickelodeon shows and stuff that are still hand-drawn.
Yeah.
But the friend I had who did special effects and he did all the computer stuff, his poor eyes. His eyes were so red all the time, completely bloodshot. And I'm just like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah. I had some graphic design instructors that had just red, and I'm like, ugh, because they got to stare at a computer all day.
Yeah, it's awful.
So there was that. But for a moment, I wanted to talk about H.R. Geiger, and he was
This is a traumatizing artist.
traumatized in my life looking at his artwork. If you want to Google it and be traumatized.
I'm glad you did not include any. Did you?
One that I thought was appropriate.
Okay. As long as I'm not going to go want to crawl in a hole afterwards.
I don't think so.
Okay, let's find out.
So H.R. Geiger was a Swiss artist, and he's known for his biomechanical style. He was part of the special effects team that won an Academy Award for visual designs in 1979's Alien. In 2013, he was admitted to the Science Fiction and Fantasy Hall of Fame. So Geiger made a bunch of disturbing art like we just talked about. And he put them all into a book called the Necronomicon. Now, this isn't to be confused with H.P. Lovecraft's Necronomicon, because I was like, wait, what? But there's an image. So here's the thing that I want you to Google, because I was going to put it here in today's episode, but I'm trying to keep this family friendly. So I didn't. But Google Necronom, there we go. Necronom 4, 1V. Okay. And so that's the image where Ridley Scott and other producers, so they looked at this Necronomicon book, right? They're like, that one. This is what we want the aliens to look like. They changed it a little bit because that one had an eye in it. They removed the eye, and they talked about like, we want the Xenomorphs to not have like visual, like eye visual, But that was the image that they went based off of for the Xenomorphs. So I also learned the term psychosexual during my research. And I see why if you were to look at his artwork. So I'm not going to show you guys the Necrom.
That one.
Yeah, that one 4. But this one, you know, it's family friendly, I guess.
Alien abduction, your standard. Yeah.
This is fine.
It could be worse. I'm sure it gets worse.
It does, but it's okay. But I will say that Geiger's Necronomicon was influential in the design in the 1993 video game Doom.
Hey.
Yeah, so that inspires some disturbing environments and hellish monsters. So, did you ever play Doom?
I never played Doom.
Okay.
No. And I've not watched, I need to rewatch the Alien movies now that I'm older. My experience was like, my Aunt Jerry, God rest her soul, she loved like action movies. So she would fall asleep to Alien or Aliens or Speed or whatever it was, right? And like at me as a little kid, I'm like 5 and I'm probably supposed to be in bed, but instead I'm watching aliens through the holes of the Afghan. Like I can't quite watch because it's scary.
Yeah.
I want to be cool like Aunt Jerry. So yeah, that's basically the extent of my experience with those movies.
Gotcha.
Might need to revisit them now.
It's, I'm a decent fan. I want to say my sister might be a bigger fan, question mark. She's huge into sci-fi, so that's kind of what got me into, because I watched what she watched.
Yeah.
But my brother played Doom, and I loved till this day, like we grew up, I watched him play scary games because I can't play them. And now I'm an adult watching Ian play scary games because I can't play them. But one day, like a year goes by, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try this on Super Nintendo. I'm like, I'm going to try Doom. Get to the first level. There's just demons. I'm just like, I'm too scared. I can't do this anymore.
I'm out.
But I did learn from that game that Mars has 2 moons. Yeah. But it was a great first person shooter. And
that is so. It's like Cranium. Who's the bad brain guy in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Reminds me of that. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, it's like on the tip of my tongue. I just can't think. But I know what you're talking about.
It's kind of like
Wasn't
that.
it just brain? No.
Is it brain?
No. We're gonna have. I don't know why. Go to Google. Crane.
Okay. Wow. We were way off. All right.
Similar in brain.
Brain. Crane. Cranium.
I don't know why I should have. I feel like I should have
come up with a better name than that. Come on.
It's the 80s.
It's the 80s. What can you do?
I had more information, but I know we want to keep this short because we do want to keep this watchable. But I went down the rabbit hole and I showed you guys a little bit.
We got the highlights.
Yeah, got some highlights. Okay. But I wanted to stop real quick to just talk about Purple Easel because, of course, that's where we work.
We're here.
And I wanted to share this super duper awesome Google review, actually, and it looks like our boss is in it.
Hey.
Shout out to him. So it says, I love this business and have high praise of the owner, Matt McDavid. This is a very classy company with well-trained, talented. Did he get someone, like a friend?
So I actually sold this painting to that gentleman. He came in like right before closing. I had already counted all the drawers and he paid in cash. And I was like, okay. But that was one off the wall, off the front wall.
Yeah. Wow. So we got talented and loyal employees. Recently, I was there and purchased a painting. I was on display in their lobby. What a fun place to visit.
I mean, the interaction was small. So for him to be like that jazzed about it and write a review and say how fun it was, I'll take it.
Amazing.
That's cool.
Great. You see how we're so well loved? Oh my
We love what you're doing here, Matt.
Yay.
That's our producer, in case you guys didn't know.
He's probably like, shut up. But anyways, big thanks to you guys for watching and subscribing and ringing that bell and commenting and all that good stuff. So keep on
keeping on. And in fact, we've been banding about some ideas about doing some Inktober highlights from the staff here. So if you're not already following us on Instagram, make sure you do so if you want to see some work from our instructors.
So I wanted to talk about our upcoming artist.
Yes.
And a lot of old PE staff actually follow him as well. And we love him. His name is Dave Rapoza.
Cool.
So he says co-creator of Steve Lynchman. Lynchman. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a comic book series that you can check out. But he also says, I draw for games, movies, TVs, and comics. Right. So he's got a lot of art which has like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, anything pop culture like Spider-Man, anything like that. But he also does a lot of monsters. So since we were just talking about Xenomorphs, I wanted to talk about monsters. And since we're also so close to October, why not?
Yay! Why not? Bring on the creeps.
So he's really good.
What?
He's really good.
What?
Right?
What?
Yeah, I know.
Okay. There is such a sculptural quality. Like there's really like an understanding of the muscles, even though they don't actually exist.
Yeah.
Like there's this.
Like you see the knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah. This is why you pay an artist for their experience. Because it has taken so much practice and stuff and awareness and knowledge to arrive at this point.
Yeah.
That we take for granted. Even if they can do it in 20 minutes.
That's so true.
It's because they've backlogged all that stuff. So you're not just paying for that 20 minutes. You're paying for it all.
You can tell this guy draws every single day.
Yes.
He's like studious.
This is incredible.
I like this bottom right-hand corner, kind of like monster.
Yeah.
His monsters are so good.
His monsters are good. They're really like well thought out. See, and this is the thing that I struggle with is if it's in my head, there's no way I'm getting it to paper. This is fantastic.
I know, right? I feel like in this monster that you can see just like a little bit of shine on the face and everything is a little bit, it's not that it's super hidden, but you really get, it's like that focal point just for you to see.
And the teeth.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And the pointy ear. That's like straight up out of your nightmares, though. That is intense. But it looks like something you would see in like World of Warcraft or, you know.
Yeah.
That's yep. So cool.
I also like this next monster because he's kind of dopey. He's like,
Cyclops.
Yeah.
He needs to brush his teeth more.
And also because, I don't know, I wanted to.
That particular one gives me Brian Froud vibes.
Yeah.
Kind of that smudginess and like disappearing into the background.
No, that's very true.
Looks like one of his sketches.
Same kind of like color palette too.
Yeah, it is.
Very nice. This is from Final Fantasy VI, but it's a bunch of characters all like hodgepodge together. And I just love it just because look at how good it is.
The background is intense. Like all the detail in that background. Yeah. And then the color choices, like they're all very different colors, but it all works together somehow.
Right? That's what I was thinking.
Like it's a lot of colors.
Yeah,
but it just has like a cohesion to it.
Yeah, it's like very completed.
Yeah. Way cool.
And then I also just wanted to end this one on a light note because we're talking about monsters and xenomorphs and whatnot. It's just some good old Garfield.
Poor Odie. Poor Odie cannot win.
Right, that's really cute. Just some pop culture stuff. So I like he's very well rounded. He can do all sorts of monsters, but then also some fun stuff. And then there's like Kirby. There's like a Kirby Knight.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
love
all
that.
over the place, but go check
That's
it
okay.
out.
That's
Yeah.
okay. We like that. That is so cool. But even that, look at how like well rendered Garfield is.
Yeah.
And until like somewhat recent years, we never saw Garfield in 3D.
Yeah.
He was a 2-dimensional character on a newspaper. And I look at that. It looks just like him, but it looks real.
Yeah.
Which is really creepy.
I know, that's really
I don't know
cute.
if I need an actual anthropomorphized cat. That's a $10 word for you. I don't think I even said it right, but you know what I mean.
Yes, I totally know what you meant.
They live in here, but they don't always come out right. Like last week, I think it was subsidiaries or something. I couldn't say.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, it happens.
Folks.
It happens.
Speaking sometimes sucks.
It does.
But I had a question for you. Have you ever drawn a monster? Because I find it very hard. My brain won't I get scared.
Yeah. Yeah. So nothing that creepy. I've drawn Ludo from the Labyrinth.
Oh, okay.
He's technically a monster,
Okay.
but he's a very nice guy, especially to have with you in the Bog of Eternal Stench. I've done one that is a bunch of trees, but there's this vague figure kind of walking through. I consider it kind of a monster,
Okay.
but that's probably the creepiest thing I've done.
Okay.
I'll see if I can pull up an image and throw it on here, but yeah, I mean, I don't really do creepy.
And that's what I think is very interesting is because, okay, also going back to H.R. Geiger and just monsters in general, or people who draw, someone has to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has to make the scary things look real.
Yeah.
For us to scare us. And I had another question, kind of, sort of, why do we like to be scared?
The adrenaline.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
It's a low risk adrenaline thing. You don't have to like go up in an airplane and jump out of it.
Uh-huh.
You can just go to the movie theater.
Exactly. It's safe. Like, you still want to be a little bit like, but you're in a safe place to do so. And I feel like people who draw monsters, I have so much respect for them because I can't do it. I can't draw monsters. I'm too scared.
Yeah. I mean, what is your
enjoy-
favorite like movie monster? Is it the Xenomorphs? Like, or is that's your favorite?
At the moment. I have to get back to you on that.
I think I like the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth.
Okay.
That one really creeped me out. I stopped watching scary movies at one point when I got old enough to where they actually started scaring me. So right around the time of like The Ring, The Grudge, and then Paranormal Activity, forget it. Like, and there's not even a visible monster in
Yeah,
it.
no,
It's
that
all
one did-
psychological.
yeah.
But that's what gets me the worst.
And
'cause
that's how wrong
knows?
this was, by the way. It was like the first 10 minutes, you're not scared. And then after the 10 minutes, you're like, even though nothing happens, you're like, the whole time. Like after that, the whole time movie, I was just like, even though it's nothing's happening, it's that suspense. It was just suspenseful the whole time. So I don't know. I think it's just really cool that people have to be demented and dark and like for us to enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's part of the creative process.
There's definitely things that like I like, the creepy, spooky, that's cool, but I wouldn't necessarily surround myself with it because I just, I don't want to draw it either. So I probably want it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I like pretty things.
Yeah.
Happy things.
We like pretty happy things.
Pretty happy things.
And that's kind of also why I wanted to do this episode is to shout out for
cool,
because
and
you
it's
did
great for
Beetlejuice, and I was like,
October.
yeah. Also, it's creepy.
Well, we're not in October yet, but we're in spooky season.
Sort of.
So
Yeah.
we'll go with
enough.
that. Find all the creepy art over the next few weeks.
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, that was a really exciting episode.
Thank
I know you were excited for it. I think it turned out great.
Yay. I hope so. If you guys enjoyed.
Yeah. And if you did, then you can make sure to follow us. And you can also go to purpleeasel.com and Purple Easel Plus is an option for you. We have a subscription that you can enjoy from the comfort of your own home. But of course, if you're in Southern California, we want to see you here at the studio. And in the meantime, create more and create often.
Bye.